welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. Your host, Michael Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Right, so this is a Daisy, your choice. The last one we watched was my choice, which is Grosse Pointe Blank. And I was chaining it off of Alan Arkin on that one, right?
Yeah.
And you've picked a chain off of Hank Azaria. And you picked Mystery Men from 1999. Off the bat, great choice, man. I've never seen this film. Oh, I had a blast with this film. It was. Yeah. I was expecting it to be okay because I remember us seeing a clip of it when it first came out. I'm thinking, yeah, that looks okay, a bit goofy, but it looks okay. It was just like them all talking in the diner or something. I remember I can't remember the specific scene, but yeah, wow. What?
Yeah,
I feel like this presaged a lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it gets funnier the worse actual superhero movies are. So.
Yeah, man. I really, really enjoyed this. This is a good choice. So main cast. I mean, there was a big cast: Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, William H Macy, Greg Kinnear, Claire Forlani, Paul Rubens, Janine Garofalo. I think
Janine Garofalo.
Right. Garofalo. Oh, it's Garofalo, like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Garofalo. Wes Studi. Jeffrey. I couldn't believe it. Jeffrey Rush's first Hollywood film. This was.
Yeah.
Man, was he great? He was great. He was so good. I mean, he could have been a proper dark villain in a more straightforward superhero movie, right? He definitely fit into the Marvel universe as a bad guy. The way, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Who was the guy that was the really menacing one in I've forgotten his name. Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
He could turn it on as well, right? And Eddie Izzard as well. Eddie Izzard. So this is pretty good. And Tom Waits, who I first mistook for Ron Perlman for some reason.
Yeah.
Is that Ron Perlman? Oh no, it's Tom Waits. So I'll tell you what, as soon as the film started, it was like, wow, someone watched Batman and Robin and thought, by a pint. That's how I kind of felt.
This is that sort of aesthetic played fully straight. Though, as I found out, the set is the one used for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay. That's what it looks like. Well, I was one little tiny little segment. It was no more than 2 seconds. Like blew me away. Is they literally had a London bus. Or it looked like a London bus just driving through an underpass. Just the briefest of shots. They got a London bus in just for that shot, or they had one nearby, or was it borrowed again from Batman? Who knows?
Yeah,
was a flop as well.
Which,
critically acclaimed, or the critics liked it, but was a flop. Grossed half its budget back. It's probably made its money back by now, but yeah. I saw it felt like it was influenced somewhat by Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
Yeah, that bit was quite clear, not just in terms of just that they were using the same sets, like the whole aesthetic of the villains, even at the start.
Camera angles, everything. The backgrounds. I mean, the art design in this was insane. Every scene had loads in the what's it. And also, it made me think a bit of Terry Gilliam's Brazil. I felt a strong, especially the fact it was set. Well, first it's like, is this some sort of weird party? And it's like an old people's home, basically. Yeah. But it's like really extreme. It really looks like bits of Brazil. And it's set in a place called Champion City, which is, Gotham City, an amalgam of that. I have to also say this feels like it was a strong influence on The Boys, somewhat. Like they decided to play it straight and it became The Boys. And Captain Amazing feels like Homelander. Greg Kinnear as Captain Amazing feels like Homelander somewhat. It's a nuts film. Because basically no one really has superpowers, right? Apart from the bowling ball possibly spleen, but it was so weird. It was
Invisible Boy. Like, don't forget Invisible Boy.
Invisible Boy. That was so weird. I mean, okay. All right. So basically, there's the superhero trilogy of
trio.
Trio. Yeah, Mr. Furious, Ben Stiller, the Shoveler, William H. Macy, who's probably the most straight character in the whole thing.
Yeah, this is just a regular sort of
guy who wants to help people, right? Yeah. And the Blue Raja, played by Hank Azaria, doing a British accent, a posh English accent all the way through.
Yeah. I'll try.
I'll try. He's American, but he's trying to put on this sort of phony accent.
Hank Azaria, you'll know, is like about half the cast of The Simpsons.
Yeah, so. He's good at voices. He's good at voices. Yeah. I quite liked his accent. I know it was clearly an American putting on an English accent, but I think that's what he was going for, to be honest. I think that's what he was so because it was a bit too posh, right? They're just not very good. They turn out basically this gang called the Red Eye Gang, who wear these red goggles. Now the leader of that gang kind of looked familiar. I'm trying to think where I've seen him, but he looked familiar. Anyway, this gang. All right, okay, yeah, he's definitely been a horrible person in lots of things. That guy. Yeah. That's what he kind of plays. So basically, this gang turn up at this old people's home, which looks like the most camp party you can imagine. It's meant to be lunchtime at the old people's home, but they burst in and start demanding all their valuables, including their false teeth. It appears we actually see shots of people giving up their false teeth out of their mouths. It's like wow. And honestly, I have to say, I was expecting an okay-ish film, but the opening scene made me sit up and think, oh my God, what am I watching here? Yes, it's really fun. But they're rubbish. They keep fighting.
They keep interrupting each other and ending up hitting each other. Mr. Furious's powers don't seem to actually activate.
That he just hasn't got any powers. He just claims that anger powers him, and he acts more like a kid who's in a tantrum. Is kind of how the mood is, and the Blue Raja's skill is throwing forks. That's what he does.
Yeah, forks and spoons.
But he's not got a very good aim. Yeah. And also the shoveler. Yeah, he hits people with a shovel again. Yeah. Often it's the wrong person. He hits Mr. Furious in the face at one point, trying to hit someone else, and they're just inept and they're getting run all over by the gang. But then Captain Amazing turns up, just comes through the window like a real superhero, and basically beats the shit out of the gang, wins the day and everything. But he's a Flash. He's a Flash son, isn't he? He's really arrogant and okay, guys, and he's also what made me laugh. He's got all these ads on the front of his uniform.
One of the first things we see about it is as after this fight finishes, he's getting interviewed by the news, and there's like, "What do you think about losing your Pepsi sponsorship?" And he's like, "I didn't know about that." And he looks at his like agent. So
basically, what they figured is doing such a good job. He's starting to lose sponsorship because there's no more criminals left, right? So he's got an alter ego, a billionaire lawyer, Lance Hunt, who is basically Greg Kinnear wearing glasses, who argues that the captain is the great supervillain Casanova Frankenstein. What a name! Amazing. That should be released. So we get his parole hearing, his 17th parole hearing, we hear. And it's Casanova Frankenstein who makes a speech about needing to be free. But it's an insane speech that screams, this guy's insane. But they basically he gets released. Meanwhile, we see this trio kind of at a diner, nursing their wounds,
trying to talk over what they could done, and they're ordering from like the cheap menu because they're like so out of money.
Yeah, and so one's having a salad, but Mr. Furious insists he wants a steak pink, not bloody, and the waitress, who's played by Claire Fulani, who comes into it later, is kind of really quite disinterested and said, "I'll get your order." Oh yeah, and then they're bickering afterwards about split it three ways. The steak guy should he's gouging the salad guy and all this. He goes, we always split it three ways. That's what we do. But they run into the Disco Boys, which are amazing again. The Disco Boys. Disco is such the right aesthetic for this film. It just feels absolute, and they play into it heavily in this film. It's all the way through, isn't it? Eddie Izzard plays one of the Disco Boys.
Yeah, there's Tony P and Tony C.
Tony P and Tony P. Like Tony, so it's like Tony Manuro from Saturday Night Fever. They're kind of referencing, I think. And he's got this massive quiff, and then the other boy is a black fella with a massive afro.
Yeah,
and they've got platform boots and all this sort of stuff. They kind of take the mickey out of the trio,
out of our Z-listers. And then they start a fight, and I can't remember what exactly happens here, but they end up having to run away.
That made me laugh. One thing that also made me laugh in the early diner scene when they're all just bickering is we clearly see the outline of the shovel on Mr. Furious's face. It made me laugh. It's a nice touch.
A welt.
On his forehead. So essentially, Casanova Frankenstein, Jeffrey Rush, goes to his secret lair, which is a massive kind of mansion by the coast and overlooking the asylum. And he gets the Disco Boys back in and says, let's begin. And it starts with the asylum blowing up. Right? They literally see the asylum blowing up. So they're bickering and everyone has to go back to their lives. We see that old the shoveler's got a wife. She's black. So she's got a mixed race. Not that it plays into her or anything, but it's kind of fun. No. She's giving him shit.
It's Jennifer Lewis.
Is it? She's really good. I didn't know who it was, but she was really good.
So she I think one of the best interactions there is like, like Timmy needs his pads back for football.
Yeah,
and the shoveler just sort of like his shoulders just kind of drop. He goes, "My pads too. I bought them." And she just looks at him and goes, "Yeah." And he puts his.
I thought it was hockey pads actually, but
to that effect, yeah. The weird bit, he puts his shovel up on like a clothes hanger, and there's other shovels there as well.
Yeah, there's millions. This whole film. The other thing that this made me think of, but not just because Paul Rubens was in it, it made me think of like Pee Wee Herman and that kind of aesthetic. This will play well into. The art design felt really similar, and if anything, way more intense. There wasn't a frame where there was some sort of weird stuff going on in the background, or lots of details, and that includes not just the look, things like steam, and there was always something going on in the frame. I thought this film was terrific. Actually, I really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of annoyed that I haven't seen it before. It's like a 26-year-old film, and it's like, why haven't I seen this film before? It's so good.
This predates
no one talks about
the Spider-Man movies. This predates the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
it's basically just like the Tim Burton Batman movies and Blade that predate this. So Tim Burton feels like his fingerprints are on it, though there isn't any. It's just the director. There was a rumor that it was Tim Burton under a pseudonym that made this, but no, this the director's name is the director. He's he apparently him making this was such a bad experience for him. He went back to just doing adverts.
That's a shame because he does a great job here. This is fun. It's based on an existing set of comics called the Flaming Carrot comics, which I kind of want to read now. I want to look into and maybe read.
Yeah, I'll say this is. I have a friend who I spoke to this about. He said he did a similar thing. Apparently, the comics are nothing like it's basically an in name only for the characters.
Oh, okay. Don't
go into the comics expecting the same thing. So.
Okay, I won't bother then. Yeah. He then Captain Amazing. Anyway, old Frankenstein blows up the asylum, and Captain Amazing rocks up immediately. to sort of take him down, and gets immediately captured really easily.
I did like the back and forth as he was entering the building. It's like, okay, so you're gonna remove the like. They just both start throwing out so much like sci-fi superhero jargon. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna throw away the atomics like disassembleizer on your ring there. It's like, okay, he takes it off. It's like, and then the neurotoxin in your boots. Okay, deactivated.
Yeah, and they basically monologue at each other. But what made me laugh, it was a nice touch, was basically they capture Captain Amazing, got him chained to a chair, and he's still trying to monologue as Frankenstein just walks off, turn the lights off, and he's still trying to monologue in the dark, and it's got such a superhero thing. It just made me laugh. It's like, they're so spot on with this. How did they just get it so right? It's really weird. So old Frankenstein's hooked up again with the Disco Boys as henchmen, but then starts recruiting other gangs too into his Furious. While he's been annoyed when everyone goes off to do it, he goes, "Oh, just be part timers." Then he goes and cases. They've got these. He's got these. I don't know. They look like the binoculars Luke Skywalker uses. Really,
yeah. They've got some sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, he's looking and he sees Captain Amazing go in. And then there's reports that Lance Hunt's been kidnapped.
Yeah, Lance Hunt. Yeah.
Where's Captain Amazing? Does the rest of it? And he's going, and Mr. Furious is like, Captain Amazing is Lance Hunt. What are you talking about? He goes, no. And the Shoveler's like, no, he can't be. Lance Hunt wears glasses. Yeah. Because, well, he takes his glasses off when he's Captain Amazing. He goes, but how does he see? And Mr. Furious is like,
that was my favorite, like, running bit. It's like someone's holding something circular near Captain Amazing. They just kind of hold it up to his face. It's like, Lance Hunt. It's like, oh no. Carry on. Like,
at one point, he actually says, "Yeah, that's me. It's my." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "Nah, I'm kidding with you." Anyway, they realise they've got to build a team, so they start recruiting. And first, this guy is Invisible Boy, and there was a gag in this. It's like a young African American lad.
Yeah, it's Kel Mitchell from Kenan and Kel.
Yeah, he's really good. I didn't know him. I just thought he was really good. Yeah. I don't really know that so much. But they look at his door and he's sort of, and they're saying, I'm Invisible Boy. And he starts explaining his power. He goes, if anyone's looking at me, I'm not invisible anymore. But if you don't look at me, I'm invisible. And they're saying, and they're basically having a trying to, and he goes, "Can we come in? Can we come in?" And he goes, "Okay." And as he comes in, he goes, "Hey, Dad, I'm taking 3 strange men who just knocked the door to my room." And he goes like, "Just watching TV." And he starts explaining it, and he's like, "Okay, all right," but somehow he becomes part of the game. They're not convinced at all, but yeah. And as they're sitting in the diner again, being stroppy, the waitress is there. Pee Wee Herman turns up in this with all these spots on his face, looking really like malnourished and stuff. Yeah. Goes, hey, I'm the Spleen. Yeah. I hear you're recruiting superheroes, and there's like, nah, that's not us. And he goes, I can demonstrate, and he goes, pull my finger, and basically he does farts.
The best bit is the trio know him. They're like, oh no, it's the Spleen.
They know.
And they're trying to cover their face and hide away from him. And Invisible Boy's like, hey, what's your power? And he quickly demonstrates. He goes, pull my finger, and points himself at the people like just ordering food. And pulls it. They immediately just drop unconscious because he's farted so horrendously bad.
Yeah, and old Invisible Boy's super enthusiastic with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, they decide they're going to have open auditions, and they do it at the Shoveler's house where he's got a swimming pool, and his wife is like, if someone throws up in the swimming pool, I am divorcing you. And he's like, yeah, that's fair. And they recruit all these mental. Well, they don't recruit many, but they see all the. It's basically one of those comedy recruitment, and they got all these weird things. 2 Wonder Women, basically Wonder Women, just start having a cat fight right in front of them.
Both show up in Wonder Woman outfits, and they're like, "You stole my looks! You stole my look!"
Yeah, they fight, and then a really sinister, badass looking one comes up, and they're like, "Oh, this looks interesting." Because I am the ballerina.
Yeah, Punk moves his cloak aside. He's got like a little tutu on,
and he starts doing the ballerina, and they're like, okay. And basically, they don't recruit anyone again. What?
There's a few like cameos here. Doug Jones is in the sequence.
Doug Jones, Pencilhead, and his son.
The son of Pencilhead. Yeah,
Doug Jones was amazing. It's a shame he weren't more in it, to be honest. Yeah, I really like Doug Jones.
The waffler. Where he's just got a broken waffle iron who just hits people with the waffle iron,
or sticks the hot waffle in their face. On his own face, he demonstrates, and they're all sitting there again. That was a waste of time. Anyway, this girl rocks up and she says, "Are you still recruit? Are you still auditioning?" And again, nah, sorry. And she just opens a bowl. And this is the coolest bowling ball I've ever seen. It's basically a skull in a bowling ball. I immediately looked on Amazon and Etsy to see if I could get one of those. So I don't even bowl, but they're like $200. So nah, that's not gonna happen. But super cool. And it turns out it's kind of mystical. She throws it, but it just zooms around and comes back to her.
Yeah, she has to catch it in the bowling bag as well because she'll die if it hits her. Like pretty much.
Yeah,
and it is still a bowling ball.
She's the daughter of a superhero called the Bowler, I think, and she's now the Bowler. And it's basically she's put a dad's skull. Her dad, who was killed in being a superhero, in she's embedded it in the ball, and he is still a spirit. And indeed, she talks for it throughout the film, and it's everyone just keeps side-eyeing each other.
It's really awkward. It's you see one side of a really awkward like parent and kid argument. It's like, no, I do get out, Dad. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And the spleen tries to put the moves on her, and she's saying, no, don't spleen. She goes, there isn't enough beer in the world. Forget it.
I love how instant it is every time. Like, he sits there, she's like, there's not enough beer in the world, and he just moves away.
And she goes, oh, that woman's a tiger, he says. And then at another point, there's some celebration. It's about tiger, and she's going, no. She's really good. It's Janine Ruffalo, isn't it? Yeah,
she's Janine Garofalo.
Garofalo. Yeah, she's really, really fun in this. So that's the only real superpower we see, frankly. Apart from, as you say, Invisible Boy, and it depends. The spleen's just so weird, maybe. So anyway, they're driving down the street in their crappy. It looks like a Ghostbusters vehicle. I'm wondering if it was meant to.
I think it was just like a family sedan sort of thing. They have a brief bit where they smash up Casanova Frankenstein's car.
There is an earlier interaction with Frankenstein that made me laugh, where he just pulls up in the limo and they're standing there, and he goes, "Can I have 2 burgers and a fry?" He basically treats them like they're a drive-through McDonald's or something. He goes, "Can I have 2 burgers and fries, please?" And they're like trying to say smart-ass things. Well, Mr. Furious is, and he's really bad at coming up with quips. So it's like, anyway, later on they do it again, and then he's with the Disco Boys, and they basically try and smash up his car, don't they? The bowling ball, the forks, the spleen farts inside the car, making them all gag.
They start throwing, like Blue Raja throws like ricocheting forks that keep the doors locked.
So it's kind of fun, but Frankenstein's a bit annoyed, right?
Yeah. So they send the gang, all his stooges after them, and as they're there, all the gang's guns get cut in half. And a new sort of veteran superhero shows up.
Because I have to say, there's one bit with the guns, and he goes, "Is that your?" I don't think it's this bit, another bit where they just pull out guns. He goes, "Is that your?" They say, and Mr. Furious sarcastically, like, "Is that your superpower, guns?" Like he can beat guns. So they're about to die basically, all their guns somehow get chopped in half, don't they? And the disco guys are going, "Well, all right, take this as a warning then. warning. Take this as a warning. So you're, and it turns out the Sphinx, who they've referenced before. Oh yeah, he's from up down south. He's really turns up. Wes Studi is the Sphinx who. We never quite see how he cut the gun in half. And that's the last time we see any superpowers from the Sphinx, isn't it?
Yeah, for the rest of it, he's kind of a sort of Yoda figure.
Mentor. Yoda figure. Yeah, and I like how he becomes their trainer, but he just keeps saying stupid circular statements, doesn't he? Like saying, if your actions are in doubt, then doubt will be in your actions. It's kind of that all the way through.
Yeah.
But basically, he's trying to get them to work as a team, and the Shoveler's like, yeah, we got to work as a team.
Yeah.
They're all into it.
Everyone's seeing benefits except Mr. Furious.
Who just thinks it's stupid and they should be out in the field. But he can't get on board with it. And in the end, he just leaves. But then he's all pissed off that, he feels like...
else stayed.
So. Yeah, and he's in the diner, and then he starts talking to
the waitress,
Monica, right? And he's saying, "I'm sorry about yesterday," and she's saying, "What? I don't know what you know." And she goes, "I'm getting really. I don't want you to be scared of me." And she goes, "I'm not scared of you," and it's all this kind of thing. But they kind of get on after that. At first, she's like, "Oh." But then they kind of start getting on. So they basically, this working together kind of makes the rest of them feel good about their chances, right? But then I should have mentioned right at the beginning when they're doing the old people's home and trying to help. A guy, Tom Waits' character, Dr. Haller, says, "Look, I'm a weapons guy. Here's a what's it?
Here's my card.
Here's my card." Also, we see Mr. Furious works in a scrapyard. And he's got this horrible old woman as employer, right? Who's basically... Also, every time someone starts a thing with him, he goes, "Don't push my buttons. I'm a powder keg, and you're a match." But people just keep going on, And she's going, scrap it. And he goes, "If you say that one more time, I'm going to lose my mind." And she goes, "Scrap it." And he always kind of, okay, all right. He kind of, it never builds to anything. He's always trying to intimidate people by saying, I'm a powder keg, and it never works. Never works once in a film. And he goes, "But I can't just scrap it with a crowbar. It's like some sort of battle bus thing. It's like a tank. It takes special tools. I need new tools." You go, "Scrap it." And he goes, "Okay." So they get a Haller who gives them these weird weapons. One's like shrinks your clothes. It's based on dry cleaning technology, he says.
Yeah, they've got weird pun names like the Blame Thrower.
The Blame Thrower. Which makes you angry at each other. Argue with each other. There's three, isn't there? There's the clothes shrinker, the Blame one, and there's another one which I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's the nuclear magnet. It's like the next step from an electromagnet.
It's a nuclear magnet, yeah. So he loads them up, and then they met Mr. Furious, who rejoins the gang after. I think the Shoveler talks him around. Says, why don't he's going? You don't need me. And Shoveler goes, "I'll tell you what. Why don't you just rejoin us?" And like Mr. Furious says, "Okay," and that's kind of resolved. So they've got all these weapons, and they've got the battle bus, which they immediately stall when they're first going into battle. All right, Mr. Furious is like, "Oh, I'll get out here."
Sorry, we've skipped out a whole attack on the enemy base that happens before this. Sorry, where they try and rescue Captain Amazing.
Yes, we did. Yes,
yeah.
And they burst in. I also have to mention the Bowler and Mr. Furious bicker like their siblings in the most ridiculous arguments. Like, "You said it first. No, you said it first." And there's all that. Over and over again, and the spleen's like, just like this, and things like that. So they all burst in to try, and they find Mr. Amazing, and he's still trapped to the chair, but the thing's powering up to do something to him. And he said, "Can you flick the switch, flow the switch?" And she goes, "Yeah."
But no, he keeps giving them bad instructions,
and they get annoyed and stop following them, and they say, "Can we just back up here?" When you say throw it 7 times, does that include the ones we've already... and things like that? And he's going, "Just throw the switch." and basically
and he melts. Like he melts in a really gruesome fashion.
Oh yeah, his head kind of distorts and it's like really grim.
It like splits.
And they're saying, "We killed him," they say, and then Mr. Shoveler goes, "Well, I didn't. I'm standing over here." And they said, "Look, let me take his pulse." And the bowler goes over and takes his pulse, and his hand falls off and just breaks into stone. Yeah. And she goes, "I don't think we can bring it. I don't think he's going to recover from this." So they kill Captain Amazing. So yeah. So yes. So they know that there's some really horrible thing which is called, let me get this, psychofraculator.
Yeah.
Which apparently, I don't know, something about making dreams come true, but in fact, what it does seem to do is distort people, melts people, and then ossifies them into stone. That's kind of what it does. So they know they've got to do something.
So they run after this happens. I don't think the villains even realize they're there.
Yeah. Well, no. Frankenstein finds a fork.
Yes.
Well, basically, he recruits this big gang. It's basically a nod to the Warriors, right? It's got this weird gangs. One's like all these frat boys, and they're called the frat boys.
Yeah, there's the Furriers. There's like I can't remember what they're called.
There's a female gang.
Mobsters. Yeah, the Furriers are like
the anthill mob almost, right?
Yeah, they're just wearing like fur boas and kind of
and
very little else.
So. Yeah, little else, and so on. And even at that point, Frankenstein actually says, "Can you dig it?" Yeah. And the frat boys are like, "Can we bring out He goes, "Follow me, everyone." And the frat boys are like, "Can we bring out brewskis?" And he goes, "You may bring your broskis." And they go, "Dude," and anyway, he takes them. He's taking them to see that he's got Captain Amazing tied up, but when he gets there, Captain Amazing is ossified, and he's like, he just switches. He goes, "See, Captain Amazing is not a problem anymore." But he knows something's happening, and he finds a fork, so he knows the gang have been there, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, they have to go back again and they burst in. Everyone's shooting at them, so they turn on the super magnet, which draws all the guns, so start the guns, and then they start basically dealing with each gang. So they're dealing with the women who are like doing the coordinated disco dance. I have to say, there's lots of disco dancing throughout this. Even the bit where they're about to get shot, they kind of synchronizing the shooting squad to be disco dancing and stuff like that. It's amazing. You have to see it.
They use the clothes shrinker on these women, so they kind of drop to the floor writhing.
And everyone's just watching. Mr. Furious is like,
it's like,
the Shoveler's like embarrassed
too, and it's like, shut up. It's like, just carry on with the film.
Yeah, Mr. Furious says my pants seem to be getting tight as well. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the next gang? It's the Black Gang, right? The rappers or something they're called. They're all
they hit them with the flamethrower, so they all start arguing with each other.
Yeah,
and then the other gangs try to climb up on the tank so they can still shoot their guns, even though they're magnetized to the thing. And that's why the Spleen makes his big use of his powers and just blows them all away.
Yeah, that's revolting.
Then we get they basically have to get past a turret, and they have to let the Invisible Boy turn invisible.
Yeah, it can detect things. It can detect movement, right?
Which honestly, the way it's shot and done makes it seem like less that he turns invisible and more that he just stops existing while outside of your line of sight.
Yeah, and then he throws the switch. So he takes all his clothes off. They all have to turn their back because he says, "If someone's watching me, I'm not invisible." Right?
Yeah, so, it's not even that he takes his clothes off; they just kind of drop to the floor like he's been raptured.
Yeah, and he he turns the switch and cuts off this beam that's like deadly, and he says, "I did it! I'm invisible. Can you see me?" And they all turn around and say, "Yep, we can see you. Yeah, you might want to cut." And Bowler's like, "You might want to put some pants on at least." And someone says, "Use both hands," when he's covering himself. Oh boy, there was an earlier scene I've completely forgotten where the Blue Raja Blue Raj has to go back and get more forks, right? And his mum says, "What are you doing?" And he explains it all to her. And she's really, it's quite a sweet scene, but it's kind of bizarre because she's going, talking the accent one more time. Things like that.
Yeah, it's weirdly incesty.
But she says she's proud of him. She goes, "I was saving his forks for when you get married, but I think that's a long way off." I think she's kind of hinting she thinks he's gay. But I don't know. He's talking in this affair English accent, and he's got all these silver forks and stuff like that. That was kind of funny.
She gives him like the family, like the good cutlery.
The good cutlery. Yeah, but she says she's proud.
The whole bit where she's like, "I was saving this for your wedding, but I don't think that's happening."
Yeah,
and just sort of carries on. So.
Yeah, and then also we do get a scene when Mr. Furious goes and sees Monica and says, "Look, I'm going into a battle. If there's." I might not survive. It's a kind of a suicide. But is there any last things you want to say? He goes, "Yeah. What's your name?" And he starts making up bullshit names, doesn't she?
Yeah, and then he just stops and goes, "My name's Roy."
Right.
So, yeah.
But then when they get there, we find out Frankensteiner's actually kidnapped her, and he's got his sharp nail to her throat.
Yeah, poisoning nail, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he says something like, "The trouble with good guys is they care about people. It's so easy to exploit." And he presses a button and destroys the frat boys. And he says, "I kill my own people. Never mind about yours." And then Mr. Furious goes mental and starts trying to climb up the wall, but he can't because it's a wall, right? It's a wall. But the old
the Raja like throws forks so that it makes handholds.
Yeah, so he can actually climb. I have to say, there's an earlier scene where he goes, "You call yourself the Blue Raj, but why don't you have some blue in your uniform? You're wearing yellow and green, but not blue. Why'd you call yourself the Blue Raj?" And there's all that kind of going on.
Yeah. Blue Raj gets probably the most like sort of superhero style abuse. It's like, just use a knife, please. It's that's not helpful for me. So.
Yeah, he goes, he won't use the knife. But the Sphinx does train him to throw the forks better. So he actually hits targets. But also does it do it undercover, so he's kind of throwing it from underneath his sleeve almost, so you can't see him coming. So there is a bit of training there. So Furious does climb up the machine, and so
they fight for a while.
There's a fight, yeah. And there's the machine still going, but old Furious throws Frankenstein into the main beam and destroys him. Right?
Yeah.
They use
the bowling ball to destroy the machine itself.
And she has a little speech. "Sorry, Dad, I'm gonna. This is your chance. I'm sorry. This is the only way we can do this." So the bowling ball goes down and destroys the machine. And basically the castle explodes, and then we see news reports, don't we? And the mother
from the morning.
So basically, old shoveler, last time he goes home to get his shovel, he tells his wife that he's going, he might not come back, and he loves her. And she says, "I'm not going to be back when you come. I'm divorcing you." And he goes, "Okay, but at least you'll be alive, I have to fight to save you." And he goes off in all nobly, and she's like, And we see her watching the news with the kids, and going, "Oh, that's Daddy." And she goes, my hero. She says, which is sweet. It's sweet. And we see that the Blue Raj's mum watching the telly and being proud of him too. And then the news report says, "You saved the city," and starts interviewing them, and they're giving all this, trying to be cool, but that's not working. And I have to say, the Sphinx says something that makes me laugh most of all. He says, "We are the number one superheroes, which means everyone else is number two, which means they're not as good as us." It's so literal. It's a bit like that news reporter from Parks and Rec, that says really obvious things all the time.
Yeah, Bud Hapley. Yeah,
that's him. The Sphinx really made me laugh there. And they're saying, "What's your name?" And they were going, "We're the Super Dudes." And he goes, "No, we haven't thought of a name, but we're not the Super Dudes." And so the reporter turns to the camera and says, "Now, it appears that the city has been saved and will always be grateful to these mystery men." And the Sphinx goes, "I've got it. with a super. I can't remember what he says, but he doesn't say mystery.
Yeah,
right?
I think they also do like a weird aside bit where the bowler is walking past with a bag, and just opens it. It's like, yeah, Dad, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to sort of bury you now, and it just cuts the other side, and it's like an ossified head in there, like it still affected the bowling ball.
Yeah. She actually says, right, that's the agreement. We've got your revenge. No, I'm going to college. I'm going back to college, right? I'm going back to grad school. But yeah, so and the film kind of ends. What a fun, great film. Really, really fun. Everyone was really good, well cast. It just worked for me. All the way down. Really enjoyed this. Great pick, man. And you've not seen it before either.
No, I'd never seen the closest I'd come to actually seeing it was I'd seen the All-Star music video, which plays over the credits, and there's like it plays like a line of the song after they do the whole interview section. So
yeah, there's some fun songs throughout this. We have basically it's alternate versions of older songs. There's like a version of Gangsters by the Specials done by someone else. There's I think the Violent Femmes doing a version of No More Heroes.
Yeah, that was weird. So
we hear that song that's from Shrek a few times. I can't remember.
Yeah, All-Star.
All-Star, yeah. We hear that. Yeah. There's also I heard a clip of Planet Claire from the B-52s. So it's a good fun film. In many ways, kind of reflecting Ghost Point Blank in its use of music, right? It was kind of a similar vibe. It must have been a 90s thing, I guess. Really, really fun. Really fun. Apparently there's a song here by Kel and the MAFT on MCs called Who Are Those Mystery Men? Maybe that was the closing credits. I don't know. I did actually leave the closing credits running in case they did, because I'm so used to Marvel doing some sort of
post credits now. We're way before that.
We're way before that. But yeah, a lot of great discos. Bee Gees, Night Fever, Disco Inferno, a lot of stunts from Saturday Night Fever, which was right for this. Really, really enjoyed this. I haven't really got much to say. Great choice. This is one of the reasons I really like the Daisy because we just stumble across stuff, right? Yeah. Sometimes we pick films we want to watch again, like I did with Grosse Pointe Blank that I haven't seen in years. But this is just stumbling across stuff. And also, you've given me a massive cast, a diverse cast to pick something the next movie. So that's great. And so I mean,
I think Paul Rubens has shown up a few times now on the Daisy.
Yeah, Paul Rubens does show up a lot, but it's kind of an interesting mix of. There's a lot of fairly serious actors in silly roles in this, like, you know, Wes Studi, Greg Kinnear, William H. Macy. They're all fairly Jeffrey Rush. They all do serious work as well. Tom Waits was in Dracula, wasn't he? As well, one of the Draculas as Renfield, if I remember right. So it's kind of an interesting kind of mix here. I've got a lot of choice. Doug Jones, even, you know, I've got a lot of choice here, man. Got a lot of choice, but really enjoyed this. I haven't got much else to say. I thought I really had a blast watching this. How about you two? Right?
Yeah, this is a really fun film. I do highly recommend it. So
yeah, it's a high recommend. What would you rate this?
I'd give this an easy 8 or 9.
I'm giving it a straight 9. I think it could be just delight finding something so fun, and it could be a rewatch. It goes down a bit, but you know what? I am going to rewatch this. This feels like one of those films to watch on a Sunday afternoon, or, you know, post Christmas. Yeah, let's put something fun on. This would be great. This would be great for that. Really, shame it didn't make its money. I guess there may have been sequels if it had actually been successful, but you know what? It's a perfect little film. It really is. The director can be proud of this piece of work as well. Yeah. And everyone involved. It was really solid. So great choice. So next time I've got a lot of choices I can make based on this, but I'll decide nearer the time. So we'll wind it out then. So bye from me.
Bye.